and thank the Almighty God for this historical moment. And I will straight away address myself to the very, very common question which I have been asked so many times, why my family donated land for the establishment of a public university in Bunyoro region. Your Excellency, it has been a long journey which can be traced back to the NRA liberation struggles. To be specific, when your forces were fighting 2 kilometers away from here at Buhimba Gombola headquarters, the Anyanyas established their garrison there, and this was in 1985. And we vacated this village. My home is on the western ward of this town council, but we could do, initially we stayed in Hoima town, and later on, the war displaced us even further from Hoima town. I think, kindly give me my file. It displaced us from Hoima town and went further. But when we were still in Hoima town, we could still come at night at home and go to the gardens at night, get approved cassava. I was sleeping together with my 2 other brothers, and this Anyanya soldier put us on gunpoint. And we came into our zgati, or our yard, on gunpoint, and he told us he was going to kill us. And this was very, very possible because some of even our colleagues, one of my childhood friends, was arrested at that time and was slaughtered actually at that place. But God had mercy on us. The Anyanya, my big brother, in his fake Swahili, he convinced him and gave him some money. And the Anyanya asked him to take him to to a house where he knew there was somebody. And then my brother took him to a house where he knew there were some people. And then this Anyanya soldier found there a lady. She was actually pregnant. And then when he saw this lady, he shot 1 bullet in the ground. And then he entered the house with this lady, and he closed the door. And then my brother used that chance to come back home. And from that time, after the Anyanya had left, I touched myself, and every part of me was what I was sweating so much. And in my heart, I know Your Excellency, you have gone through a lot of similar experiences. In fact, I remember recently I was watching you on TV at Honorable Riaka Tegaya's memorial. You talked about when a ship from Gulu saved your life because you knocked it and you got a problem, and when by the time you came to Kampala, you survived seriously. And you have told us many mysterious stories where you just see the hand of God operating. This could be very small for you, but it was really so big for me. And from that time, I said, I, and possibly later with my family, we shall always serve the Lord and our people. And Your Excellency, I went ahead and studied. Overlay Canon can testify that I have done great things to serve my people and the service of God. So that is why I decided that to crown it all, I should galvanize the donation of something which will be questioned so much, indeed, like this land, which will somehow pain me because it is a sacrifice to give away almost 100 acres like this. And when your family is looking at you, and when the other people are looking at you, but I wanted it like that way because I made a pledge with my God. My family decided to donate this land in 2017. At that time, the land had a mature pine plantation, which I harvested. By then, the public university the idea had not yet materialized, but as a commercial tree grower, I had to replant this space with more trees. So I call these COVID trees because I planted them during the COVID lockdown in 2020. And this is the second rotation which you are seeing here. Gratefully, in 2021, Your Excellency, you granted Bunyoro Sub-Region a public university, and I immediately reaffirmed my earlier offer of free land. And of course, it had some trees. To overcome the obstacles due to trees, I gave two options to my offer. The first was that since the university may not need all the 20 acres at once, all the 100 acres at once, they would be allowed to clear 20 acres at no cost and use the land. Then the trees in the remaining 80 acres would be harvested in a period not exceeding 8 years, and then after that the land could be used by the university as they wish. The second option was for the government to compensate all the trees if they so wished, and take possession of the entire land if immediately, especially if they appreciate the commercial, the monetary aspects of trees, the ornamental, carbon sequestration issues, and so forth. And I'm happy, Your Excellency, and delighted that your government accepted this land offer. Thank you so, so much. Allow me also to acknowledge the Ministry of Education and Sports and the National Council for Higher Education under the able leadership of Mama Janet Museveni for the meticulous process they have undertaken together with stakeholders who included, among others, the political leaders from Bunyoro, headed by the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, to reach a decision to have this location as the main campus for Bunyoro University. Your Excellency, also allow me to thank my family here for this remarkable gesture that has brought us together here to celebrate this milestone. Your Excellency, as guided by Mama, I'm working now with the Ministry of Education and Sports and the University Task Force to finalize the transfer of land titles of this area to government. Finally, allow me, Your Excellency, through Mama, to deliver parents and the Board of Governors from Buhimba Secondary School, where, by God's grace, I'm currently the chairperson of the Board of Governors. Buhimba SS Secondary School has about 800 universal secondary education students at the moment, and it was a site for your liberation struggle, and many of the Anyanyas whom you killed were buried in our playground there. The school is currently very, very good at sports, and the parents and the Board of Governors have requested me, Your Excellency, to pass on their request to you of a school bus in commemoration of their role for the liberation struggle. And finally, Your Excellency, the mayor had given me his requests, and I declined to say them. Baito abanyoro tugamba nti omulimo gwito gundi oleka kweyagura oleka kulya noyeyagura. Let me just make only one request, even if today I wanted this function to be a function of giving back, not to labor you again with all these sorts of requests, but let me just say one thing. The mayor told me that it is only 8 kilometers. There is a road from here straight to Kampala Road, and it is 8 kilometers. And the mayor requests that if you can be considerate and tarmac that road so that the students can have ease of access to the university. May God bless you, and may God bless Bunyoro University as it contributes to this national development. For God and my country.
Webale muno waitu Dr. Wamani, hamna family, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda and Mama, na nyonkwenda kutwara kaire kanu kubasima habwa byone birunge bimukozere na muno habo kuleta obuhereza hanu mbuhimba ekichweka kinu ekiri very historical kandi kyo tuina na monument hamuna akasozi ka musajja mukuru wako akalesereho ebyenkurakurana na byona mu kichweka kinu hati waitu nkwenda kuongera kutwara kaire kanu kusima Dr. Wamani aboki hamuna family mutukozere kurungi muno kandi amazima gali amakunaga mutukoleire itu abantu ba Bunyoro gano tigakoleka kandi tigasangika nabwekyo Dr. Canon Wamani na family yawe na abana bawe na abayijukuru na abayijukuza ruhanga abampera omugisa gw'amaani kandi nisaba tumuterere mu ngale z'amaani habo kuba itaka linu eitaka Bunyoro hano lifokere itaka omuntu kwana ekemu mama tikyanguhire baitu ekazi 10 kiri kintu kyomugaso muno omutima ogu bayiraba mutaliha abantu baruhangayi. Your Excellency and Mama asera Stephen Itazanu gwa mabara gange kandi indi nzarwa ya hano ni nzarwa mugenzi Peregrini Itaza alomu habahuliro omuranga gwa mugurusi muzeyi habo kuchungura abantu bawo kandi nawe yakweteranizaho hamu na heroes abandi ba historicals abamu balimu muno baita abandi bakatwarwa kandi aba historicals abo nibekulemberwa Omunyoro Banage Joseph aho gwali chairman ha national team webali munatenya hati munyikirize akaire kanu nyongere nsobole kumanyira abakurasi habwa Parliament of Uganda abali hano akiro kinu ekiro kya masemererwa gano munyikirize manyire Honorable Dr. Kugonza Emile from Buyanja East by Ninsaba webali mno waitu Your Excellency akaire kano tulimkumanyira abakuras the Honorable MPs na muno abayizire hano ekiro kinu Honorable Kazini Francis ogo MP wa Buhaguzi nuko tukwatagana hamwe isaza ne district yaitu ya Kikubu webala motukwija tuina Honorable akugizibwe Ronald Aled Kasojo Kato ogo na rugamu Bururi County Masindi District nawe aize hanu waitu Your Excellency munyikirize nyongere manyire Honorable Businge Harriet Akiki tukira kuongeraho baby face kandi mugirozere baby eri face ko mugurusi ninyongera kumanyira Honorable Dr. Asimwe Florence kandi ogunaruga Masindi District Dancing Queen webale kuija kiki antongera kumanyira Honorable Kisembo na wale nibasemera na mukurasi abwa Kikube Akibale District Honorable Joseph Ruyonga kuruga Hoima City West webali mno kuija Doctor ntuongera kumanyira Honorable Woman MP Bulisa District Honorable Nora Bigirwa Nyenduoha webali mna moti kuija tuinaho na Honorable Alan Atugonza ogwo MP habwa Bulisa District Your Excellency, tuinaho na Honorable Jennifer Mbabazi, kandogo ali woman MP habwa Kagadi District. Your Excellency, tuinaho na abakurasi, omukurasi Honorable Julius Junjura, kandi akaba mukurasi mu 9th Parliament, webale muno kuija. Nituongera no kumanyira omukurasi, ayabaire mukurasi habwa Bulisa District, Honorable Stephen Mukital, na wabaire ha. Lega, oye! Moraro ebuzireo, NRM oye! Museveni oye! Mama Janet oye! Your Excellency, the President, abo nubaba kurasi abasobaire kuija hati waitu Your Excellency onganyire haroho Honorable Joseph at tumwesije kandogo narugira Bugangaizi South. Sorry waitu Your Excellency, ogo kabaire kako ndio kumusembe sayo. Ogo Honorable Jacob Karubanga kandogo mbaire nyina kake kankwenda kumbaza Your Excellency, kandi ali mukurasi abwa Kibanda Masindi District, Kiriandongo District, omukurogo no chairman wa NRM caucus, Bunyoro Parliamentary Caucus, kandi arwaine buchweka ihembe kurorangu yasumikaniza ensonga za Bunyoro University, kandi yaija nuko bakaikaire nibarwanagana na mama Majege waitu akiki Right Honorable Robina Nabanje. Hati nkwenda kusima parliamentary caucus ya Bunyoro. Mukozero mulimo gwamani habo kuleta university. Kandi omulimo gundi gukyali iyo nagwo. Ne mukimanya nagwo gukyali yo gwamani baitu nkwenda kubasima orugendo twatandikire mazimako turutuwire. Kandi hati tugenda kurwanisa nebindi ni nsaba politics tubanze tugiteka rubaju itwe na babunyoro turwanire kintu kinu nuko His Excellency halate ye kijuma kisobole kwana ebijuma ebingi. Your Excellency akaire kano nyina omukuru omukoto governor obunkugenda kweta baitu ntaka mwesere Your Excellency habobuyire abantu banu bakugonza kandi nayo nokimanya nebyafayo bingi bwalesere haro kihandiko kibaire kimpere ibwe aba historical za veterans baitu akaira ko maisaho ningira nja kikukia baitu atalikiro kinu nyikara katebe ka presidential affairs kandi tuina program yo committee ngana bwekyo ekihandike ekyo nja kikia aba veterans aba hanu no mulimo kubakozero murungi baingi bakwenda kusimu hati ninyongera kusaba Your Excellency orugudo na nyomba ile ningenda kurubazaho abo kwa kagudo kake hati harono orugudo rundi bugambaho orukurugira kimukatasia kugenda naruo kugendera kimu mpaka buseruka naruo it is a shorter distance hati ni malira Your Excellency akaire kakugenzero baitu mu buchulezi bwingi nyina munywani waitu enganja ni yaitu enganja ni yabona kandi ali mobilizer waitu murungi wa NRM ayeranga Michael manyiraho Your Excellency omwana waitu nzaro ya hanu baitu aina akasobya akakusobeza nabo cyo mbaye ninsaba tata n'omutima murungi gwo buzairo gwogira ninsaba omuganyire kandi omuterero musasire akaire nuko kano nyikiriza Your Excellency nyimukie governor waitu governor wa Kikube arali kona kandi ono Peter Banura kandi on LOC5 chair habwa Kikube kandi ali mtabani wa historical General Mateke Alugonza ija obalize webale muno.
Your Excellency General Kaguta Yoweri Museveni and Mama Janet, our dear Vice President of this Republic of Uganda, and Mama Prime Minister Majegere, Nabanja, and all the ministers present here, my dear executive members of the District Council of Chikube, and all protocols observed, and our kingdom officials with the Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen. Kabalega-lega! Kabalega-lega! Your Excellency, I stand here with my colleagues, the Chairperson LC5 from Hoima, Uthman Kadiri. I stand here with Mr. Cosmas from Masindi, the LC5, and they are here to celebrate this great achievement. Tata, when in 1986 you were coming, you talked about what we received as Uganda was not a mere change of guard, but it was a fundamental change. But what you have done to Bunyoro, what we are doing today, is not a mere foundation breaking, a ground breaking of the foundation, but it's a fundamental change to the history of Bunyoro as a region. And we thank you so much, we thank you so much. Muzei, indeed, you're a great man. Olimsaija wamani, kanda huniriza. Many of us never know your timing. Ruhanga, aine bintu yerekereza, aina timing iye. By tonight, you have your timing for Bunyoro region. This was the right time to be here. Under this blessing of the rain, Injura Netsensera on the groundbreaking of the Bunyoro Public University. This university is not for Bunyoro only, but it's for the country. It's a public university. Kandi tuena nimbasaba na munomuno, my fellow leaders, because we take the decisions at times on ebintu ebimu bikorwa. Let's come together. Let's forgive each other. If I've wronged you, forgive me. If you have wronged me, I forgive you. But let's forgive each other's leaders, tuimukire hamu, and lobby for the betterment of the children of this country and the children of Bunyoro. Dr. Wamani, thank you so much, and your family. Canon Wamani, thank you so much. Ekiokozereti kizoka, but we live in history to remember you. Muzei, when you were in Kaboya yesterday, you talked about a memo. The Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Kazin, prepared the memo. I think it's with your team. Ningsaba, Memeyo, Okitekema Mani. It has critical issues. There's a Bunyoro. And I believe most of those issues, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, nawe aja kuongera obikusobora in that memo. Your Excellency, twine kizibu kyaba money lenders, umukikube muno. Tukozera mulimu gwa amani na RDC amlani okurwanisa money lenders. Bayibire abayijukuru, abaguros, babatwara amajugab. And when they go to court, the court releases them so fast. And many of them have taken land, yaba kaikuru, yaba gurusi. This really pains us, but we believe Urat Kwasa, lawyer Wawe, will have to sort some of these issues. Honorable Nanka, Your Excellency, to Kusima, Ebyapa, Yohaire Chikube, as a district. Ebyapa, Emitware Evil Nakakaga, and this is where at this junction, when Kusima, Omwana Waitu Kandi, Under Secretary, Mr. Zuku, I saw him right there, could stand for recognition. Atukuli omulimu gwa amani in the Ministry of Lands, okutusuminkaniza, okurura nti ebyapa binu byaja kikuba abokuba tubaine ebizibu byaba land grabbers who are still disturbing this region, abokuba tukwenda obusingi to take off as the Bunyoro region. Vocational Institute ya Buhimba, Waitu Your Excellency Eroho, and you've been advocating for vocational studies, and Majanita has also been advocating vocational studies so much. There is a tarmac road, Itukunira, Tuksaba, tarmac in that road to the Vocational Institute to connect to the Kakumiro Road. Hali Mama Nabanja Majegere also comes from Ejakutuyamba, Kuongeza Bana, so that we sensitize them on the importance of vocational studies. Mzei tuina esomerani tuija halora bire on the main road as we are coming, the Kigede Muslim School. The Muslim community supports the NRMs very, very much. It's on the main road, Bakurwana in their small capacity kuri anti bafacinga esomero n'abaana batatomerwa on the main road, the Fort Portal road, kandi ene egenda kuba the gateway to this university. Turente abaana baitu bali safe. Yude esomero eryo tunge fencing basobora okusavinga abaana baitu. Ni malira Buhimba as a sub-county babalizeho the liberation struggle. Many of our children, many of the students, many of the senior citizens perished in this Buhimba struggle. Akaboru taru aman kani mzei norumanya kurungi. There is a heroes monument that was built, and you know it very well. It's my humble wish, as Peter Vanura Kandi, and I pass greetings from your colleague, your friend, your humble servant, General Matayo Kialigonza. Hero monument Yahu, one day or next year, the national function, the Heroes Day function, ever held Ahu in memory of those heroes who died in Buhimba struggle. So, nikusima muno, kandi nkwenda kusima muno kintu kyokozere kinu for coming here physically to groundbreak this function here. Webale muno for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jennifer. Namuyang will take over the next session.
Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, the great leader and the God-given leader, Mama, the First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, colleague ministers, members of Parliament, Muhikirwa and all the cultural leaders, Lord Bishop and all the religious leaders, the academia, friends from the local governments, our people from Bunyoro, and the media, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, on behalf of Bunyoro sub-region, I want to welcome you so much. And Your Excellency, for us as Bunyoro, we are grateful because you've given us almost everything. In terms of infrastructure, Bunyoro is tick. The international airport, the Tamaka roads, now the stadium. Your Excellency, what was remaining was the university. But 4 years ago, you told us, you gave us the university, and it is only us who have been delaying it because of the land issue. I'm happy that today it is sorted. Your Excellency, I don't want to speak beyond that, but only to commit that as your humble servant, I will supervise the work here. I will mobilize all the stakeholders to support this effort, but also mobilize the parents to take advantage, to maintain their children in school so that they come to this university, position themselves to sell their food, position themselves to transport the people here. Your Excellency, I have a humble to invite Mama to speak to the people. Mama has done a great job in the education sector. We are proud of you, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Namyangu. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers present here today, members of Parliament, religious leaders, cultural leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Today, the entire education sector fraternity shares the joy with the people of Bunyoro and especially the Himba community as we witness this important milestone of breaking ground for the construction of the Bunyoro campus for a public university in the Bunyoro region. Well, before I go any further with my speech, please allow me to recognize the efforts of the Bunyoro stakeholders led by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Your Excellency, the stakeholders of Bunyoro have keenly followed up the development of a public university for this region, especially in the process of identifying suitable land to establish the main campus. Your Excellency, in a special way, also let me recognize now Canon Henry Wamani and his family, a patriotic Ugandan who have sacrificially gifted this public university with the 100 acres of land upon which the campus for this university will be established. Because we had refused to compromise on the land space for a good campus for Bunyoro University, so God in his own time, in his wisdom and power, finally used Dr. Wamani to offer his land of 100 acres for this university, and today we celebrate him. I use the word sacrifice because, as you can all see, this land is not empty or in a state where one can say that it is not conducive for other activities. Therefore, the fact that Dr. Wamani considered it worthy to have his land given to the government to establish a public university in the Bunyoro region is truly something to thank God for. And celebrate Dr. Wamani and his family, and we know only God will pay him back. Certainly, his act of sacrificial generosity of his land to the cause of a public university will be remembered for many generations, the current ones and those yet to come. In addition, hopefully, Dr. Wamani will become an example, an inspiration to emulate in terms of generosity by the students and staff that shall walk through the gates of this university, as it is written in the Bible in Proverbs chapter 11, verses 25. It says in quotes, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed himself." In other versions of the Bible, it says, in quotes, "The one who blesses others is abundantly blessed." And yet, other versions say, "Those who help others will be helped." Therefore, my prayer for you, Dr. Wamani, and your family is that God blesses you with good health and favor, that you may live to see the fruits of your generosity for giving this land to government to establish a public university in the Bunyoro region. The same way government and the people of Bunyoro have found favor before you, may the Almighty God grant you favor before him and your descendants to the glory, honor, and praise of his name. Your Excellency, today's breaking of ground for the construction of a public university in the Bunyoro region is a testament to your vision of establishing a public university in each zone based on the old colonial districts at the time. This vision will continue to be fulfilled one zone at a time in a phased manner as government resources become available. And it's very important that Ugandans just know that these facilities will be built. Government has this as a policy, it will be fulfilled, but sometimes it takes our patience and it takes a little time, so it requires all of us not to be frustrated, not to be impatient, but to wait knowing that these facilities will be provided by this government because it was this government's policy. The establishment of a public university in Bunyoro region will see this institution join the already existing and operational 10 public universities. These are Makerere and Kyambogo universities in Buganda region, Gulu University in Ashore region, Mbarara University of Science and Technology in Ankole region, Busitema University in Bukedi region, Muni University in West Nile, Lira University in Lango region, Kabale University in Kigezi region, Soroti University in Teso region, and Mountains of the Moon University in the Rwenzori region. Through the Ministry of Education and Sports, the government has been supporting the process of establishing a public university in Bunyoro, as somebody said here, in Bunyoro region since July 2022, when a task force led by Professor Chamanya was constituted. To date, the government has invested 6.4 billion in the preliminary processes of establishing a public university in Bunyoro region. These funds have enabled a task force led by Professor Chamanya to develop 18 academic programs for the university to utilize once the institution becomes operational. I am glad to note that all the programs developed are in sciences. Now, these 18 programs have already been approved by the National Council for Higher Education, the government agency that is responsible for quality assurance of the academic programs in all universities and other tertiary institutions in the country. The only obstacle still in the way is the availability of infrastructure and other supportive facilities that will then qualify the institution as an accredited public university by the National Council for Higher Education. Your Excellency, the President, today's milestone of breaking ground for the construction of the main campus the only campus for a public university in Bunyoro region has been allocated Uganda shillings 15 billion this financial year. Therefore, I call upon Professor Chamanyo and his team to ensure that no time is wasted in starting the procurement process for a competent contractor to undertake this construction work. Lastly, Your Excellency, I call upon the stakeholders of this public university to continue extending the support they have been giving to government to see the realization of this institution as another outstanding public asset in Bunyoro region. I now want to invite you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, to address this gathering, and God bless you all.
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament, our religious and cultural leaders, distinguished leaders from Bunyoro, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a historic milestone for the Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda at large as we gather to break ground for the establishment of Bunyoro University. Your Excellency, this institution, Term 7 and Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament, our religious and cultural leaders, distinguished leaders from Bunyoro, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a historic milestone for the Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda at large as we gather to break ground for the establishment of Bunyoro University. Your Excellency, this institution, Term 7 and Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament, our religious and cultural leaders, distinguished leaders from Bunyoro, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a historic milestone for the Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda at large as we gather to break ground for the establishment of Bunyoro University. Your Excellency, this institution, Term 7 and Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament, our religious and cultural leaders, distinguished leaders from Bunyoro, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a historic milestone for the Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda at large as we gather to break ground for the establishment of Bunyoro University. Your Excellency, this institution, Term 7 and Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament, our religious and cultural leaders, distinguished leaders from Bunyoro, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a historic milestone for the Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda at large as we gather to break ground for the establishment of Bunyoro University. Your Excellency, this institution, Term 7 and Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament, our religious and cultural leaders, distinguished leaders from Bunyoro, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a historic milestone for the Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda at large as we gather to break ground for the establishment of Bunyoro University. Your Excellency, this institution, Term 7 and Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers present, the Honorable Members of Parliament, our religious and cultural leaders, distinguished leaders from Bunyoro, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a historic milestone for the Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda at large as we gather to Honorable Victoria Rusoke kandi ogwo mwana waitu wa akazarwa hanu baitha wogo Rusoko mwana waitu hanu Bunyoro. Honorable Mary Mugasha, Minister waitu wa Public Service. Honorable Barugahare Baram Mani Mayaka Ogomani Mayaka Your Excellency. Muzei na abakoto bona nkubarora nkulengera muzei zikansagi sawo. Zedi waitu wakagati. Ubakera nkula nandole ekiso nanyo kankwanjula tanjja ko. Flata Your Excellency, today we turn a new page addressing these concerns and reaffirming our dedication to education equity. The selection of Buhimba Town Council in Chikube district as the site for Bunyoro University is strategic. It's a quiet place and will give a conducive environment for our children. Your Excellency, as a caucus for Bunyoro, we wanted the university in the city, and we had the strategic reasons. We thought in the city, our people will have access to housing and many other things. But here is more strategic, I'm telling you. And for this reason, I want to take this opportunity to thank my son-in-law, Dr. Wamani. Dr. Wamani, thank you for donating a government a lot of land. The government has been donated enough land for this purpose, ensuring ample space for the university's infrastructure and future expansion. This groundbreaking ceremony is the result of collaborative efforts. I extend my greater thanks to all stakeholders. The people of Bunyoro agree, Your Excellency. Katikanu kankabazo Bunyoro muzei. Buli muntu akenge. Muzei. Itwe hanu Bunyoro ruhanga katuwake kisembo. Government ezahoire itwe hanu tuataka ruraga chorus. Tujiboina mulembe gwawe muzei. Hai buli district ya Bunyoro yone ina chorus ati. Bunyoro ojihaire ekisahe kyenyonyi International Airport. Enyonyi zijja kubongo mu mwanya hano ensi yona yewunye. Hanyuma yekyo otuhaire ekisahe ky'omupiira. Habwaki bantu ba hano mutasima. Ekisahe ky'omupiira International Stadium eri hano Bunyoro. Baba ene bekwasa university nayo gimazire. Kibaire kyekwasa Nkani University. Ati nacho muzeyi okimazire ati kamba gambira abantu ba Bunyoro. Atulabanja ki. Tukasaba district C wazituwa. Muzeyi no ijuka. District zifokere kizinelewa ina. Tuina district ya Chikube mpyaka. Eyakagadi mpyaka. Eyakakumiro mpyaka. Tetuina kyekwaso muzeyi byono bikozire. Era nyekwewunya n'abaana bakiyaye abakyabaza kubi government ya NRM. Muzeyi nkwenda nyowe n'abantu ba Bunyoro. Inywe n'abali hano, we need to pledge total support to NRM. Total. Ebyekwaso byona bibaire mu manyabira. Aroba twali tuli omukaruru ka mchara baby face. Ali mwengudo omutawuni omu. Muzeyi abantu abandi baruraga obutaro obwo obumyumyuzi. Nibagamba ngo ati obwo ino obumyumyuzi obwo ngubu kumyumyura amafuta. Muzeyi amafuta ogahaigire. Muzeyi atukubanje shinka Bunyoro. Obuntu obutoito obusigaire tujja kububaza nyenkya. Tuli na abebembezi kandeke kukumalira obwire. Bati nyowe nk'omuntu muzeyi ekyekwaso tukiro otuwaire prime minister. Otuwaire minister wa finance. Otuwaire buli kimu okituhaire. Ekyekwaso tukiro muzeyi. Mu butuufu tetwina kyekwaso. And so, Your Excellency, allow me to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you are a visionary leader, and I know that you are steadfast in whatever you put on your hands. We agreed that the Uganda People's Defense Forces Engineering Brigade will be entrusted with the construction of the university, and we will ensure, like Honorable Namuyango has pledged, that there is quality and timely delivery of this university. Your Excellency, the establishment of this university is poised to be a catalyst for transformation. It will, one, enhance education access. Two, it will stimulate economic development and growth. It will create jobs during and after construction. It will boost local business and attract investments in this region. I believe this university will preserve the cultural heritage. The cultural heritage, it serves as a center for research and documentation of the rich cultural heritage of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom. Your Excellency, as we embark on this transformative journey, I call upon all stakeholders, one, to support you in your programs of UPE, free education, because we shall fail to get children to go in this university. Your Excellency, the dropout rate here is high. That's why I want to call upon all stakeholders. We shall get ashamed. Because this university is here, we have been calling upon everybody, university. Now, we may fail to get children to go into this university because of high dropout rate. And so, I call upon all the RDCs, the LOC5, and many other stakeholders to make sure that our children who start P1 complete up to P7. Your Excellency, I want once again to say that this university will promote academic excellence. It will also engage the community. In conclusion, as we lay a foundation today, Your Excellency, this foundation for this institution will illuminate minds and foster innovative and drive socio-economic transformation for Bunyoro sub-region and Uganda as a whole. Let us get united. Let us get more united members for the purpose and act together so that this university gets what the president wants. NRM oye! Yoweri Kaguta Museveni oye! Mama oye! Bunyoro oye! For God and my country. Let me now take this opportunity to invite you, Your Excellency, the Vice President, to Her Excellency, the Vice President, to invite the President.
Your Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Mama, First Lady, and the Minister of Education and Sports, the Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, the Prime Minister of Uganda, colleagues, ministers, colleagues, members of Parliament, the religious leaders, the cultural leaders led by the Prime Minister, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Mbaramukize inywena. That one. Mwebale kutangira owekitinisa His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ne Mama mu Bunyoro Region. Mukulike kutunga University eya Bunyoro. Your Excellency and Mama, the establishment of a public university here in Bunyoro is a clear testimony of your progressive policies and programs of NRM government and your dedicated leadership. Let us thank His Excellency the President for his visionary leadership. Your Excellency, you have always guided us that the implementation of government programs should be aligned strategically in a sustainable manner in line budgetary resource envelope. Therefore, this moment on the groundbreaking ceremony of a public university in Bunyoro here today is both historic and historical. And it resonates well, Your Excellency, with your implementation of programs equitably across Uganda. It is yet another statement of your commitment in improving, promoting, enhancing, strengthening, and increasing the capacity of human resource development in our country. Your Excellency, you have always told us again that human resource development is very crucial, especially in the socio-economic transformation of any country, because it has a connotation in health, technological advancement, innovation, wealth creation and job creation, etc. of our people. Your Excellency and Mama, today, government has registered yet another milestone in the education service delivery of our country. A clear manifestation that all the children of Uganda have a choice to undergo education from the lower levels up to the higher levels within our country. Finally, Your Excellency and Mama, under your leadership and with the commencement of the implementation of universal primary education and universal secondary education way back, with the availability of requisite infrastructure in Bunyoro, with a conducive environment of peace and security, the establishment of this university here in Bunyoro is a right step in the right direction. We are all very sure that it is going to be sustainable, and we all commit our total support. I would like to extend appreciation to the stakeholders of Bunyoro sub-region, led by the Right Honorable Robin Anabanja. Because in establishing a new university, public university in the region, there are 4 steps. And the first one is expression of need from the community. I sincerely thank the stakeholders of Bunyoro for undertaking to extend that first step to government through the Ministry of Education and Sports. Second, I thank Mama for her smooth coordination with the National Council for Higher Education. A second step that enabled them to produce a report that empowered Mama to recommend the responsible sector in the ministry to establish the university. Third, Mama, I would like to promise on behalf of all the politicians here that we shall support you in the next step, which is moving a motion in Parliament in order for us to adopt the existence of Bunyoro University as a public university so that it becomes part and parcel of the Universities and Other Tertiary Institutions Act. In fact, Mama, from the body language of members of Parliament, your motion has already passed. And then the simple one will be to sign the statutory instrument. But I thank you, Mama, for the patience. It takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of thinking to reach this stage. I am very certain that you may have been bombarded with phone calls, with requests of meetings in order for us to reach this stage. But with your charismatic leadership and a very sober mind, we have managed to reach this stage without any casualty. I heard the Prime Minister saying that she rang Mama, and then Muse said, please move with Mama. Thank you for moving with Mama. Education has steps. You can't skip a step. When you skip a step, someone can go to court. And when the person goes to court, then you lose a lot of time. But today is a very beautiful day that the Lord himself has made. I'm very excited. It's a very big success for government in general, and a big success specifically for the Ministry of Education and Sports. Your Excellency, I thank you for serving Uganda and delivering the services of government equitably across the country. And I now would like to speak to the Prime Minister of Bunyoro with one sentence. Nimbasaba musagike NRM na President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni omu akaruru aka 2026. And the Prime Minister and the leaders of Bunyoro, we shall all come back here at that time. Empako yange abole. And in English, I appeal to all Ugandans to renew His Excellency the President mandate in 2026 to continue to lead our country and to enable NRM to take Uganda to further modernity and prosperity. Your Excellency, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite you to speak to us. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, sit down, sit down. Her Excellency the Vice President, all the other leaders of political, cultural, religious. You have Abanyankole have their usual proverbs. One proverb says, empazemwe tehenyana muchongore. Empazi zirumo Bunyoro. Empazi, in English they call them red ants, which bite. But the proverb says that if one red ant enters a calf pen, a place where the young cows are kept, it will not manage to stampede them out because it is just one. It bites one and it will have no impact. Empazemwe tehenyana muchongore. Therefore, when the NRM came into government, there was only one public university, Makerere University. And we said at Makerere University was graduating 80 doctors a year. According to the WHO, you need one doctor for every 500 people. Uganda, with a population of 46 million people, needs 92,000 doctors. Therefore, with graduating 80 doctors a year, you can see there was no hope of fulfilling the tasks. That's why from the beginning, even when we didn't have enough money, we evolved this policy which you are talking about now, the one of having a public university for each of the 18 zones of independence. And we have already had universities in about 10 or 12 of them. So therefore, this is what we are implementing here. Now the second one is from the Bible. It is in the Bible, some group were walking, and Jesus had been crucified, but these people didn't know. So somebody told them, you are in Jerusalem, you don't know what is happening. Now many Ugandans don't know why there is peace in Uganda when Uganda is surrounded by chaos in many parts of Africa. There's chaos in Congo. You know, there's some problems in South Sudan, in different parts of Africa, but we have peace here. Now, you people, you need to know why this is so, and support it and consolidate it. Why we have peace is, again, another Nyankore proverb. Enkoko eshonda kera emire. The hen pecks what it can swallow. You cannot see a hen pecking a rat. Imu muraruzire enkoko nemire embeba. Enkoko esonda kera akela sobora okumira. So therefore, the issue of prioritization, doing what you can afford at the right time. You have been talking about timing. Those people have been telling you that those are your enemies. They want Uganda to they don't understand prioritization. When we were fighting, that's exactly what we did. Mukurora abaserikare baitu nibekara umbuji bw'ebinyazi. Tumbarora abaserikare bamahe bekara umaju bw'ebinyazi. Beto omuchi cy'ebinyazi takuteri saso kafa. Hati ito nuko tukora tukwata kandi orufumu rwito rundi kamwe kama nugoki bugu siki ebyo kandi ebyo abonke mbiyebo aba bagambira bugu nibagonza tukore ensobi. So therefore, now, because of the economy has grown much more, and we have handled a number of other issues, since some few years ago, it was the time to implement a public university policy in Bunyoro. After me, I wanted to start with Chugumba. I don't know why you didn't like Chugumba. Because there's already the Petroleum Institute in Chugumba. And my view was you could have started with that. But for some reason, you didn't want that. So I said, okay. Ekitata muyima tekimala konti. Let's go for this other one. Now we have moved because we have got a bit of money, and we shall implement it. And in the next year we shall have our petroleum money. We shall have more capacity to support these programs. But now, another proverb of the Banyankore. The Banyankore say, egabo ya cheri tujihera mwana mbazi. No harukumanya ekyo. No haikutungire. Egabo ya cheri tujihera mwana mbazi. Haruha Bunyoro harukumanya Runyankore. Harinka. Egabo ya cheri tujihera mbazi, mwana mbazi. Haruha Abanyankore bari hano. Nuba abo bona bakongo bari hano. No, haruha izire. Okay, go genda mzindaro. Egabo ya cheri tujihera mwana mbazi.
Ebale munonga Excellency amazinya nye Stephen Kabindi egabo nchimanyise byokulya tokasiga kwezo mwana mbazi ngu wanankaba abokuba natural omwantu wawe no gya kumhombazi atekwa kulya awe na mani so tusagamba akamhombazi ajagenda wa neighbor aralya ebyo kulya tomanyire bwara bachumbiri literally niko chikumanyisa.
Very good.
Yes.
Iyo Runyankore ko rwagiranka.
Iyo ndiyo Munyankore Bunyoro Excellency. Aweto no masindi.
Kale.
Okay, bari munonga Excellency.
Now the manya embazi yitu yira Rwanda City Kabindi babali. Embazi yitu erukireka eba laxative. Omwana kumombazi akairukana. Mbakweta kuirukana? Akaturukia. Hata Abanyankore banyu bakaba in science bamanya ngo umwana kwa kuturukia muno naba na turukia amaizi ogombiri. Na bwocyo bwangu oyino kumuhereza ekimukweto mu ruzungu rehydration. Okumugarrama amaizi. Tokusobora kugamba nti omwana kamuhombazi kwa raturukia muno inja kugenda wa murano wange musaba amaizi. Musabe not amaizi omufunguro. Dilute something. Mixture of water but also some other nutrients. Abako no sobora kugendayo kumusaba usanga tachumbire umwana afwe kwa tatungira amaizi nafa. So hati university twagenda kujiombeka. Umuhara wetu nabanja akibarizeho yagamba nti university turajiombeka tukasanga abana abanyoro abo kugisomera mbataroho kiraba kita. The issue is, when you build a university, how will you ensure that the local children will qualify for that university? There are two roadblocks to the local children coming to this university. Roadblock number one, actually the major roadblock is poverty. Because when the families are still poor, first of all, the children will not finish the primary schools. They will drop out, which is what Nabanya was talking about. They will drop out of the primary schools. Now, if they drop out at the primary school level, who will come to this university? You'll find the university full of South Sudanese, full of Congolese, full of children from other areas. Yes, in Bunyoro, but the students are from other parts of the country. Why? Because the children here did not complete primary school, they did not complete secondary school, they can't come here. University Katare nogenda no tahamoti. Oino okuraba mukajejena ka the academic system. You need to go through the filtration of the academic system. So therefore, you the leaders, like the LC5 who are here, insist on free education for the children in government schools. Implement it. Why don't you implement it? Ekyo tumukikora mubaze bya haiguru ebya hansi mbyebo. Let's implement free education in government schools. The rich ones can go to private schools and pay school charges. Implement that so that all the children of the poor people have no excuse for dropping out. This is number one. Now, if that one works fully well, then you will have many children qualifying to come to university from the local area. The university will have students, but they can come from other parts of Africa and pay, because there is paying. But even when the children, even when you have implemented free education, the government provides free tuition for a limited number of high-performing students. So the children may qualify, but they are not among the few thousands who get government sponsorship. So that means now we go back to the families to sponsor them, which means the families must have income to support them to come to this university. So we need to agree here and pass a resolution that, number one, support free education. Do you agree to that? Do you agree to that? Kandi kunda hurire abana babirukize mu masomero habwa ebisare ebichwero babite ebichwero muri nyoro babita bata ebichwero muri Nyankore ebichwero omuri nyoro bakibaza bata ebisare nkoruganda. So that's number one. Otherwise, if you just university, public university, yes, the university will be there. It will benefit business people, abaguda, rich people, the ones who have got what to sell to the university, the shopkeepers, those will benefit. But you may find the children of the ordinary Bunyoro are not part of all that. But secondly, so free education will now create the volume from down coming to the university level. But then you must solve the problem of homestead poverty so that the families have money to do, if necessary, private sponsorship for the children. Which means now we are going to Bonabagagaware, prosperity for all. Don't talk about university. All these professors who I didn't study in Uganda, I studied in Tanzania. I'm sure this university, all of you studied away from Bunyoro. There was no university here. Dr. Bantebia, I've been with Bantebia, Muruzile Hanu. Who is Bantebia now? I tried to make her a minister in Africa, but I failed. What I wanted to make you minister of what, Bantebia? She has got a very powerful name. You hear the name? Bantebia. Ijo bagambere what your name means. Come. Bantebia is a very powerful name. Put it in English. Your name.
Bantebia, they praise me.
Yeah.
They talk about me, they praise me.
I am a famous person.
Oh, yeah.
Bantebia, I am the one talked about. We wanted to make you minister of what in Africa? A commission of what in African Union?
A commissioner in the African Union.
Which one? Which one?
For social affairs.
Okay.
Yes.
So please, for this university to really benefit the indigenous people, the ordinary people, number one, free education in the government schools, in primary and secondary levels. Number two, eradicate poverty in the homesteads, so that if the children are not taken up by government sponsorship, the families can pay for them. Do we agree on that? What are you going to do? Okay, okay. Actually, I want to thank Dr. Wamani Ogo Mwami Bunyoro Mari Bunyoro Mari. No Bunyoro Nyoro nkawa nilisoma muno Bible Zaira. Nkasoma Bible mu Runyoro no kitabo cyo kusaba mu Runyoro. Ebigambo bimwe bikaba byaka ekikonkome nengi. Ekikonkome is abanyankore bacyeta ecyangare. Ecyangare.
Egaragara no muri Nyoro nuko bagiyeta. Weteba mutine ko leti netengese. Ecyangare.
Kabana bacyeta ekikonkome.
Oyo no Ruganda, your excellency. Or no Ruganda because of intermarriages konka and
okay. Mwandara nugo the rock.
Orichiri. Orubari.
Very good. So hatu wamanu Bunyoro Mari is the real Bunyoro now. The original ones, not these ones of Kampala and I thank him so much because he has solved our problem. Now, when I listened, when I discussed with Mama, my decision is that Dr. Oman has given us the land, but he still has got his trees there. So the correct answer is, thank you for the land. We pay you for your trees, all of them. Tusasere emiti y'omusajja. Omusajja nawe agenda asemererwe. kandi hono oliyatwara enju otware ebirago otware entebe hono okabota hati omusajja atwere enju katumureke katusasire entebe zazitware itusigaze enju abo enju niyo nkuru. The land is the base of the trees. He has given us the base, but let's pay for his trees. And we get all the land at one go, so that we plan properly. Now, on the issue of Buhimba SS, it is true that Buhimba, at the junction there, the road from Narweyo, where the road from Narweyo joined the road from Kagadi, from Chenjojo, that's where we had a big fight, I know it, by the western axis. Because when we were attacking Kampala from Masaka, this was called the western axis. And I will get time and meet the veterans. But Dr. Oman has said, my staff has said that we should give a bus for the Buhimba, for Buhimba SS. That one I will definitely do. Now, finally, I want to give you my experience when I started the university myself directly. This was in Barra University. I started it with Professor Kayanja, and whatever we did was deliberate, and I think children who studied at Barra University don't have much regret. We started courses selectively. The first course we started was medicine. Because a medical doctor tasobola kudiba. Anasobola kudiba omusawo. Ngo omusawo adibire. Kwa kuba tatungira omulimo hano natunga hero. So we said our first course is medicine. This one. They wanted to start a faculty of veterinary in Mbarara. I rejected it. I said, why? They said, because Mbarara has got many cows. I said, I was at Ntare, 1961, 62, when I was in S1, S2. We had boys who were in S6, Rwamhanda, Tuete, other boys, who left us and went to Kabete in Nairobi to study. That time veterinary medicine was in Kabete, in the whole of East Africa. So from that time, we have had many students who have studied veterinary medicine. Then later on, Makerere University started a faculty of veterinary. So I said, I suspect by now, this is when we are starting in Barra University. I said, I suspect by now, there are very many veterinary surgeons. So I don't want you to leave veterinary alone. Let's go for human medicine. And you can check what has been happening, how the Kakawa and Kayambi. Umuntu kugenda nentandai. So I said, by now, I suspect there are very many veterinary surgeons. So up to now, I don't think they have started a veterinary faculty at Mbara. I don't think so. Because I rejected it. I didn't want to have my children qualify and not be relevant in the job market. So we started with that one faculty. Then, with Kayanja, we agreed that we add the faculty of science education, Bachelor of Education Science, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. Because you know we need a lot of those secondary school science teachers in government schools, but also in the private ones. And if they don't get jobs here, they will go and get jobs somewhere else. So that was our second faculty. The third one was Okwahero. So that was, I think, the third one. Then we added ICT, I think. Now, somebody went behind my back without my knowledge, and they started a Department of Development Studies. To hear now, they had started development studies. What is development studies? Development studies, what does it solve? This development studies was a distortion created by my Makerere people, Dr. Mujaju. Akiki Mujaju. When we came, we wanted to what we call political economy. I talked with those people. The NRM, we always insist on political economy of social evolution. For academicians and learners to learn the evolution of society in the last 4.5 million years when man has been here, which they don't teach. But I wanted it as a paper, interdisciplinary paper. If you are studying medicine, just have a paper of political economy. And if you are whatever you are studying, have a paper, not a course. But Mujaju went and made it a course. So I started getting my graduates from Barara not being employed because they had this degree of development studies, which they had not consulted me about. So I opposed it. I think now it has been phased out. I don't think it is still there. So here, you need to be very careful. The courses you recommend to our children here. Look for courses which are relevant in the job market. Because it is not fair, especially for these peasant families who don't know. They just share a degree. Then they sell their land. They educate a child in conflict resolution. That is also a course. Conflict resolution. So please, make sure that you don't. You check with Mbara University. I don't know whether now I no longer interact with them. I think they have forgotten about me. They don't know that I'm one of the pioneers. Maybe they are doing their own thing. But when they were listening to what I was telling them, the children were really. It was easier for them to get jobs. So we have done our part. Ebisigaire byanyu biri bimbagambire bibiri abana okusomera busoma amasomero ga government ahansi kuri nokubinga obunako mumaka basobere abana batatungire obusagiko bwa government kubasasurira abazere babasasure aboko bene entahi. Now about the road, we shall see about those roads, the ones you are talking about. We normally, nobody can follow it up. We normally annex those small link connectivities with a big project in the area. When we are working on the big road from here to Burisa, then we can add something to the cathedral, something here, something. So if there is a big project, I think the next big project in the area is likely to be a road from Kakumiro, Tunkoko, Tuntwetwe, to Masode. Those are my roads where I used to walk. Inyo murabamu ne motoka na mangu bwangu tumkumanye ebichweke ebi. Ebi byona nyo kabiribata ne bigere. So I think that is likely to be the major road in this area, apart from repair, because even these ones may need to be repaired. Then the other big one is going to be the one from Kazo in Chiruhura, Kazo, Kabogore, Mpara, Chejegwa, Hapuyo, Karuguza. That one is also going to be the big one. So when we are doing those big ones, we can annex these smaller ones we are talking about. You do the big one, but you add on this smaller one. So with these few words, I want to thank the people involved. I want to thank Mama for patiently managing political. What is political? You are really misleading our people. This is political what? The public university, I am the one who started it. When I started Mbara University, the people were opposing me. They were saying, why start a new university? Why don't you consolidate Makerere? I said, no, even if we consolidate Makerere, we cannot go on with 80 doctors per year. We cannot manage. Now, how many doctors are we graduating? There are very many now. So, the concept of public universities is mine. Hata omuntu kwa kundomana okukira nyina nagonza kumulya. Who can like public universities more than myself? Because I am the one who started the whole thing. Nanjari hanu. Hata omuntu yargati nyingozo mwana okusinga nyina ya mzee. They can make us make mistakes. So, with these few words, I wish you good luck. Thank you for receiving us.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. And Your Excellency, first of all, I would like to confirm that Mbara University of Science and Technology is still following your advice. It hasn't yet diverted. Your Excellency, we are going to have anthems. And, but I would like to request that after the anthems, Your Excellency, you accept to have 3 photographs. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.